What's a dead giveaway that someone is a piece of shit? They can't handle being wrong. Not only can they not handle being wrong, they will somehow make it your fault. My mom yelled at me when I failed my driver's test because she didn't renew her license sticker. Oh, this reminds me of a story about my ex. We went to a dinner party with her co-workers at a very fancy restaurant. Reserved room for 20 people or so. When the waiter was going around taking cocktail orders, they asked her for her ID. She did not have it with her and was not able to drink any alcohol that night. The entire ride home afterwards, she yelled at me for not reminding her to make sure she had her ID before she left, like it was my responsibility. She was 29 years old. This is just one example of many where she would never take responsibility if she made a mistake. It was always someone else's fault. My soon-to-be ex got wasted at my friend's wedding and stood up on a folding chair during one of her look-at-me moments. She fell, and the chair folded back up, trapping her foot. She blamed my friend for ordering cheap chairs, currently in the middle of a nasty divorce sigh. For me, it has to be when they treat animals really poorly. This is a good one, but I'll throw out another related one that seems like a bizarrely popular Reddit opinion. People who think animal abuse is worse than child abuse or worse. Redditors who think child abuse or worse, wishing for kids to get injured, mauled, killed for hurting or even just mildly annoying an animal. They're kids, you assholes. If a video came out of a playful toddler running up to a pit bull at a park and falling on it, then being brutally torn into pieces by said animal, half the comments would be animal lovers cheering on the pit bull while shouting how the kid got what they deserved. They're fucking kids, assholes. They do what now? I've advised my client not to answer any questions regarding their ongoing case. When they mock you for trying to lose weight or trying to improve yourself in general, you will never have a hater who's doing better than you. I think some countries call it tall poppy syndrome. But that's not true. The success of conservatism in Western countries is built on kicking down. The homeless person or immigrant working a basic job is more the target of hatred than the capitalists who took your workplace rights or destroy your neighborhood. Haters aren't anonymous or strangers or systemic though. Haters are specifically people you know whose entire interpersonal relationship with you is hoping you fail at whatever you're doing. When the rules apply to everyone except them, and they find a way to make themselves the victim because of the rules, aka per you, spec. When they are rude to service people like waiters or cashiers, I think it shows a lack of empathy. Flip side, being nice to these types of people but treating family poorly. Sociopaths are often good at treating strangers well. And obviously someone with abusive family doesn't need to treat them well. But I think you get what I'm saying. Wait, my mom literally does this, will jump through hoops for people not part of the family. Random people she works with but isn't friends with, but is awful and mentally and emotionally manipulative to family. Edit. But actually, she's also hella rude to customer service staff despite being in customer service herself all her life. In narcissistic personality terms, this is called host syndrome. My mother was everyone's favorite. She hated us. I have heard people wish she was their mom all my life. They have no clue. They talk about cheating on their partner in a bragging way like it's something that makes them cooler. If they cheat on their partner, they'll cheat on you. My mom always told me how you got them is how you'll lose them. *edit to say thank you for the award. Yep. If they cheat with you, they'll cheat on you. They can't stand different opinion. Have someone like this in my family. If you're having a discussion and you offer a different perspective, you can see in their eyes. They're annoyed you're not just agreeing with them. This really depends on the opinion though. I've learned a long time ago that if someone has certain opinions, then I want nothing to do with them. Slicked back hair, white bathing suit, sloppy steaks. You think this is slicked back? This is pushed back. Oh yeah, that'll slick back real nice. You never told me your old grandpa used to be a piece of shit. They litter. My dad used to call me trash pockets, because if there wasn't a trash can round I would just, keep it in my pockets. I'm proud of you, trash pockets. Trash pockets sounds like something a character in It's Always Sunny would use as an insult. You're a good person, trash pockets. When you're having an argument with someone and they start saying things just to hurt you because they don't have a valid argument. Yeah, this one's personal. Yeah, I don't talk to my brother about any of my personal problems at all anymore, not since 2021. Sometimes he flies off the handle of what's essentially nothing. He gets in a rage and extremely overreacts to whatever the situation is. Then after he realizes he doesn't have any valid reason to be angry, he starts personally attacking you. I'm talking screaming at the top of his lungs, and he takes personal shots at you. Goes for the jugular. It's the strangest thing, and it's always over tiny things. Does your brother possibly have some mental health issues? Not an excuse at all, but an explanation. Or has he always been like this? My sister and I think so, but he's never been diagnosed. I think he might have IDD or something like that. It fits his behavior to a T. But even if he went to get help, he'd just lie about any of his behavior. He never thinks he's wrong about anything, and he gaslights a lot. And if he realizes he's wrong in an argument, he tries to twist it as if he was saying the correct thing the entire time, and you were saying the incorrect thing. And also, if you ever say, did you know is B, so C happens, he always says, well duh. C happens cause B and are the same, basically saying what you just said reworded, trying to pass it off as his own knowledge. It's literally impossible to tell him anything that he doesn't know. When they don't listen to you, only wait for you to stop taking so they can speak again. I have to stop myself from doing this from time to time. If it's my ADHD or what, but sometimes I'll think of something really compelling to add to the conversation and don't want to forget it. But then whoever I'm talking to is going on tangents and stuff. I try not to though. This is absolutely an ADHD thing. I struggle not to do this in conversations also. I also diagnosed ADHD. Was once told by my therapist that this is because a lot of people with ADHD absorb information by relating it to themselves or something they've heard. It can often make it seem like you're a bad listener or aren't being courteous in the conversation. But truthfully just connecting patterns and reaffirming thoughts, classic neurodivergent actions. Ever in search of that dopamine hit while attempting to connect with. Affirm the other individual with your contribution. If they don't care about anyone or anything but themselves, then that's usually a pretty good indicator. I don't care about anyone or anything as long as they don't bother me. There are also a lot of things that bother me. When they say fuck all my haters, when people are just giving them suggestions on how to be a decent human being. Nah, I just tell it how it is. Nitrogen monoxide, shut up. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking. I'm brutally honest. They don't respect the people who clean up their shit. A coworker once made fun of National Custodian Day. I worked at a hotel for years. I was managing the place. And even though I had a housekeeper, I'd end up doing whatever was necessary in the moment. That involved cleaning rooms and bathrooms. I cleaned vomit and blood because I won't ask my staff to do that. My next job was retail. And because I didn't get a clear answer about who is responsible for cleaning the bathroom, I stepped up. After you've been doing that type of thing for years, it just doesn't bother you anymore. Some of my coworkers respected me less for doing so. I respect you more for it. The person willing to pitch in any way needed is the one I want to work with. Another way of looking at this situation is the person willing to do anything management asks, without question, up to and including cleaning bodily fluids without proper equipment and training, lowers the standard for workers willing to stand up and say no that requires special skills, so special pay. They do not put shopping carts in the cart corral. What are they? Lazy bones. Lazy bones, you get a magnet. When I catch Shooter McGavin eating them for breakfast. He eats pieces of shit for breakfast. No. Saying horrible things about people all the time. If they talk shit about other people to you, it's a solid bet that they talk shit about you to others. All my exes were crazy, really now, like you were the victim in all of those. Now that's not necessarily true. 2 of my 3 exes are batshit crazy. One tried to pay people to beat me up after I broke up with her. Another slept with my best friend 3 days after we broke up. And the other was so narcissistic that she could genuinely sit in front of a mirror for hours and be entertained by her reflection, yet at the same time be so insecure that she told me I shouldn't have TikTok because there are too many pretty girls on there. Typically, we're talking 5 or 6 plus exes. If you've only dated a few people, it's definitely plausible that you got a bad hand, but after like 8 different relationships and not a single one was ever healthy in any way, the problem probably isn't them. 2 or 3 crazy exes are okay, but if we're talking about 5, 6, and so on, crazy exes, then that should raise some red flags. I've met a person who prefers to be with overly jealous, protective partners because anything less than that won't make them feel needed or loved, which are to attract and maintain unhealthy relationships. Like, men would be waiting outside her house after having a fight, and not in a caring or loving way, but like an I will break your doorway. To make things worse, she was dating all of these abusive men while she had kids of her own. I forgot the part where this is actually my mom, lol. The smell that comes with them. Yep, oftentimes you catch that smell from miles away. What are you, a poop shark? Bring your poop knife. When they constantly try to one-up you in a conversation. If you think that's bad, you should meet people who constantly tries to two-up you in conversations. That's nothing. One time this guy at a party 3-upped everything that was said. Let's just ask for 7-Up sponsorship in advance. Bro, look at this, shows a minor achievement I'm proud of. Oh bro, that's so easy, I literally did that like a million times. With all due disrespect, fuck yourself. Trying to get my 8-year-old to stop doing this, can't imagine a mature adult doing it, lol. Believe me, I've seen plenty. Gross. If they treat family or staff members like shit all the time. Agreed, I've found that one of the most common formulas for people who are not good people is to be passive-aggressive in a position of authority, power. They'll never talk to you directly but will just make work life difficult, and it's usually for shitty petty reasons. 1. They will treat you like a doormat and the relationship dynamic is incredibly one-sided in that regard. They will fully expect you to tolerate extremely poor behavior from them and other people but will react very angrily when you actually stand up for yourself or they otherwise feel you have disrespected or offended them in some way. 2. They seek conflict on purpose and will cause it in any way possible. 3. They hold on to grudges easily and won't let anything go without a fight. They keep track of how you have disrespected them over time, for they are extremely vindictive and will find any way to punish you every time they feel you have disrespected them. 5. They are extremely argumentative and will proceed to give long, ranting lectures instead of speaking in a calm, respectful manner. 6. They are extremely negative and critical all of the time and will never offer anything positive to a discussion. This also extends to them never being happy for you in any way, e.g., getting good grades at school or a job promotion at work. 7. Due to this constant negativity, you cannot speak to them because you know that they will respond in this way, or feel that you are walking on eggshell ls around them because of their negativity. 8. They are verbally abusive. They'll insult you, call you names, etc., etc. They'll also belittle you, your hobbies and interests, as well as friends and family. They'll use offensive language to that effect, e.g., calling your actually decent car a peak of junk or calling your friend a loser. 9. Lack of effective communication. 10. They are never willing to compromise on a situation and will issue ultimatums instead. 11. They put conditions on their love towards you and having a relationship with you. 12. They view you as a burden. 13. They are prone to physical violence. 14. They are gaslighters. 15. They love bomb you. 16. They are extremely selfish and self-centered. They will only ever think of themselves. They will also only ever care about their own needs and wants, no one else's. 17. They lack empathy and compassion towards other people. 18. They are financially abusive. They will use money to control and manipulate you into doing what they want. 19. They are very accusatory, e.g., when you are looking for a job, they're calling you lazy or saying that you have a bad attitude and you don't want to work. However, these accusations would be completely unfounded and it's just an extension of their abuse as per number 8. 20. Almost every time you would spend time with them or otherwise communicate like a phone call or a text message, there would always be some kind of agenda or ulterior motive behind it, because they want something from you and not to have a normal conversation. It is very much a transactional relationship. 21. They view you as a punching bag, meaning that if they're having a bad day for whatever reason that had absolutely nothing to do with you, they'll lash out at you regardless. 22. They outright refuse to help you in absolutely any way whatsoever, even in difficult times. Or if they choose to help you, they want something in return. They want you to return the favor. 23. They crave attention 24/7 and have an intense dislike towards the idea of you having a life outside of them. They fully expect you to be at their beck and call at all times with no exception. 24. They do not respect your privacy. They'll repeatedly barge into your room, demand to know who you are phoning, etc. They'll also speak about you to other people behind your back and share extremely personal information about you without your explicit permission. 25. They are frequently dishonest to you and to other people about you. They'll attempt to paint you in a bad light by omitting certain details and otherwise twisting the narrative to suit their agenda. 26. They are never ever wrong and refuse to ever apologize for anything. They think they can sweep their poor behavior under the rug and pretend nothing ever happened, instead of accepting responsibility for their or other people's poor behavior. They will deflect blame away from themselves and engage in victim blaming and scapegoating. 27. I'd attempt to isolate you from friends and family. 28. They play the victim in any given situation. 29. They might also give you the silent treatment and ignore you for prolonged periods of time without explanation, and then out of the blue they'll start speaking to you again like nothing happened. 30. When other people criticize you, they won't defend or support you in any way. In fact, they'll likely take the side of the other person criticizing you. 31. They do not accept different opinions and theirs is the only valid one. They judge other people's opinions without understand their perspective. First, they think that they own a monopoly on all the correct answers. 32. They threaten cruel and unusual punishments for the smallest mistake or infraction. This might also extend to threatening to ceasing all contact and disowning you completely as well, for really minor things too. 33. They are prone to wild mood swings, One moment they'll appear to be fine and in a good mood. Next moment they're angry and abusive. You never know what kind of mood they will be in on a given day. They get angry at the smallest thing, and saying the wrong thing would instantly change their mood. 4. The worst, 34. Whenever they are harassing you with any kind of abuse, physical, verbal, etc., and you plainly tell them to stop, they'll ignore you and continue regardless. Either they lack the genuine empathy, or they just don't care in the slightest about the harm that they cause others. 35t. They are extremely dismissive of your feelings, and when you attempt to address a legitimate concern with them or otherwise confront them about their behavior towards you, they'll attempt to invalidate your feelings and justify their behavior towards you or otherwise downplay a situation that they see. 36. They view parenting as simply providing the physical needs of the child, i.e., providing a roof over their head and feeding and clothing the child, but caring about the child's happiness and mental well-being, not a concern for them. 37. They think that parenting has an age limit. As soon as the child reaches age, usually 18, they think that their job as a parent is done and subsequently want to kick out their child as soon as possible. 38. They view children as simply extensions of themselves and not as separate individuals with their own needs and wants. As a result, they think they are entitled to dictate every aspect of their children's lives, even extremely trivial things. 39. They will blatantly favor one child over another instead of treating all of their children equally. 40. In the case of divorced parents, they'll use their children as pawns against the other parent, and more specifically, parental alienation, meaning that they will constantly badmouth the other parent in an attempt to turn the child against said parent.